Hey guys, I'm Samia. I'm a wedding photographer, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the 12 things I think every wedding photographer should have in their contact form. Contact form is that little form that you have potential clients fill out when they find you on Google or social media. So, what are the questions in there? What should you be asking potential couples? To go along with this video, I have a bunch of free email templates for wedding photographers just to help you run your business. So, you can get those down in the links in the description. All right, so I posted this little graphic on Instagram. If you're not following, make sure you follow Instagram. But these are just the 12 things you need in your form. So the first three are pretty basic. Name your fiance's name, make sure you're asking for both. The phone number and email, basic stuff, right? The fourth thing I ask for, and I recommend you guys too, is their Instagram. So what I'm doing when I'm asking them for their Instagram is totally a business strategy. So what I think about Instagram as a wedding photographer is that it should be a very highly converting platform. So for example, what I mean by that is that if your ideal client comes to your Instagram, they should feel like this is the person for me. There is no other person that could possibly photograph my wedding because this person is so qualified, personable, has fun content. I want to look like the clients look in those photos, and also you're providing so many resources that are so valuable that are specific to them. So for example, try to fill your Instagram with venues that some of these clients are going to, tips for getting married at that venue. I'm getting out of hand, but you get what I'm saying? That Instagram should feel like it was made for them. So what I'm going to do when they fill out this Instagram is I'm just going to follow them, go into one of their posts, comment, "Hi, I'm so excited to talk to you." Basically what I'm trying to do is get my content in front of them before I even talk to them. So it's kind of like priming your audience or your potential clients for the call. And if this is done right, guys, once they get on the call, they're like, "Oh, we saw our venue and tips about our venue on your wedding Instagram, and we learned this, it was so helpful," or "We have this timeline template that you shared about." So you're just trying to add value as much as possible and get them excited about the call. And that, if you do that right, is so different than what everyone else is doing, because everyone else is just sending a brochure and it's totally boring. So that is really a huge piece in getting them to book. But that can be a totally separate video. If you want me to talk more about that, leave a comment down below and I will maybe put something together. So, okay, once you ask for their Instagram, you need their wedding date, their getting ready location, ceremony, and reception location. So the reason I'm asking for these in different questions is a couple of things. When you go into the call, the last thing you want to do is not know everything that you can about their day, and also try to cookie cutter them. So if I know that they're getting ready in 3 different locations, and if I didn't know that, I might try to pitch, "Oh, okay, you need 8 hours like everyone else." But you want to make sure that the clients feel like this is the package and experience for them. So what I like to do is I ask number 9, "Do you have a ceremony start time? What time?" And I'm just going to make them a timeline and account for travel and say, "Hey, I put this together knowing you're getting ready here, you're having your ceremony here, if you're going to your reception here, actually know some really nice spots at this monument or something that we could go to in between." So you're not just selling them 8 hours of photography. You are selling them a photography plan for their day. And if you know this information up front, you can just put nice stuff together. So that's why I ask questions 6, 7, 8, and 9, and it's so helpful. Okay, the next question, number 10, what stage of inquiring are you at? So I do ask this question, and I really like this question because it really helps me get to know people, like, where are you at? Like, what are you doing? So if you put these 4 different options, 1,000%, we love to book you, 90%, talking to lots of photographers, price shopping. So I am a crazy person with data, and I actually keep statistics on how many people end up booking from when they fill out these different things. So I know in my head already how likely this is to be a good match. So if they book 1,000%, we'd love to book you. Usually I know in my business about 90% of the time after that, I'm gonna book this wedding, all things else considered. And then if they book 90%, it's actually about the same as when they book 1,000%. Talking to lots of photographers, I still have about a 60% conversion rate, and then price shopping is going to be a lot lower. So it's just helpful, I think, for me to know how much of me booking a wedding is what people come in with preconceived ideas and their own way of shopping, how much is it influenced by that, And then where am I going wrong? And if they thought they were, 1,000% they were going to book me, but then they didn't. So all of this information is important to the health of your business and just knowing, how is the psychology of this working. So it's also very interesting, I think. And so I would recommend putting that in there. And then also I put your budget for wedding photography. And actually in this question, I have a drop down. I just didn't put it in this graphic because you could do this different ways. But I have a drop down of different ranges, and I have 4 ranges. The first one is outside of like way too expensive, like they want to spend more than anything that I charge. So it's like way more. And then the second 2 are 2 ranges are like in between, like what I'm charging. One is maybe an elevated package with albums, and then the other is like more average. And then the last one I have is a price range that's the lowest, and that is what I am like. I don't have packages for that range. And then so what I'm doing with that is I'm asking people their budget because I want to know how much they want to spend. And then if I try to do calls with all of my couples, everyone that fills out that contact form, I offer a call to, as long as I make sure that I'm being respectful of their budget. So all I'm doing with that is really making sure that their budget isn't so low that I don't have anything and I don't waste their time. And that is what I say in the email. If they check, less than blank and I don't have packages for that budget, I say, hey, just wanted to make sure I remain respectful of your budget and your time. This is the average in the industry, in the market, and this is the average that I charge. So just so you know those numbers, because you also have to remember, people don't get married every day. So I've had weddings book that they check the lowest box and they end up booking a package not that cheap. So people don't know. So just nicely educating them, hey, do you still want to do a call? Because then I go, oh, I didn't realize it was that expensive. I have no idea. So just keeping it kind and just like making sure you're getting the information that you need and also educating them. Like I said, it's kind of an art form, all of this, but making sure that's kind of how I operate that question. And then the last one is, how'd you hear about us? Also a drop down, and then I keep data like everything else on all of these things. So how I actually set up this contact form is through Honeybook. So I have a lot of videos, way too many videos on Honeybook and the Honeybook course on here, so you can go through all of that. But I just embed that Honeybook contact form into Showit, and I have a video specifically on how to do that here in the YouTube channel. But this is a contact form I just have for weddings, and next week, if you want to subscribe, I'm going to talk about multiple contact forms in your website. And the reason for doing that is because once the couple fills out this contact form, I have an automation in Honeybook that it's going to automatically respond to the inquiry, like respond to them and ask them to schedule a call. So let me know if you have questions about anything I mentioned in this video, and I hope to see you guys next week here on YouTube.